Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but we're out here today. We're looking for gold, and shout out to my neighbor Brendan for lending me his DJI Osmo Mobile. It's a little handheld gimbal that you can put your cell phone in. I'm going to be playing around with some of the features of that today, try to get some more cinematic shots of the project. What I'm here to do is I'm basically at a creek. I remember watching an interview with a gold miner, and somebody asked him, are gold miners as secretive about their locations as mushroom pickers are? And he said, nope, they're worse. But I can tell you, I'm near Revelstoke. It's early January. The weather has been just incredible. Not a lot of snow on the ground where I'm at, so I've got some decent access to some running water. I'm not sure if you can see behind me, a beautiful waterfall, just an excellent setting in which to get out and try to find some gold, whether or not there's gold in this creek. I'll tell you a little bit more about the creek as we get going here, but it's maybe not the best place to look for gold because it's only about 5 kilometers from where it starts at the top of a mountain to where I am here. But the advantage of that is there's really not much water flowing through it, which allows me to work it with a gold pan and a little baby shovel. And any gold that I do find here is likely not going to be fine gold. So rather than doing one pan and counting whether there's 50 colors or 100 colors and getting an idea of what's in the area, this might be a situation where I do 5 pans and I find nothing, but on my 6th pan I find one little chunk that adds up to what all those little fine specks may have equaled. I don't know if we're going to find any gold here today, but I'm certainly going to try. So just to start out, I'm going to take this little military style folding shovel. Pretty cool unit, folds down small, and I've just been playing with this saw that fits inside the handle. It's actually really handy. There's all these, I don't know what they're called, but these spiky little plants that are sticking out everywhere around where I'm working. And even with the leather gloves that I'm wearing, if I give it a good grip, it just stabs right through into my hand. So it does a great job just clearing out a little bit of the brush. I'm just going to make a small clearing around where I'm going to start trying to actually work on moving some of these rocks out of the way and get my first pan in of the day. So stay tuned. Hopefully we're going to find a little bit of gold and have some fun doing it. Hey! Might as well get to work then. I think the area that I'm going to work here today is going to be right here. The creek kind of flattens out a little bit here, so if there's any chance of there being a pocket in the bedrock that I might be able to find something, this is it. So that's my goal. And one of the things I'm going to do to try to get there is as I dig down, I'm going to make a little channel so the water can jump into the next little drop, because I can't be working in a deep pool right now. So I'm basically just going to move a little channel out, move some gravel out, and just try to get down at least a little bit before I do my first gold pan of the day, of the year actually. The first gold pan of 2021. I seem right now to be digging through about 50% wood and 50% actual rocks. The view behind me, if we can get that into the frame here, that waterfall, the sound from it's just incredible. Down by the highway, I've got a train going by. It's just a great place to work. So I'm going to put in a little bit of time on this location and see, with minimal tools, how deep I really can get. I'm not super excited about the gold finding potential in this area, but I'm excited to dig for the gold. And when it comes to a rock like this, I should be able to just pry that out, move it, and as I get deeper, because of the location I've chosen, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see exactly what I'm showing you here, but down here it's it's probably a meter below where I currently am, or maybe a little more than that, like 4 feet. So as I'm digging this little hole out right here, the water level is dropping. So I'm going to make a little trench up in this area, and that trench is going to hopefully drop the water level, at which point I can just hand bomb some of the rocks out of here and get down maybe at least a foot, just to the point where if there was any gold, I would have a little better chance of actually panning it out in my very first gold pan of 2021. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Just because I don't have rubber boots, I'm not going to be able to go deep. Just going to clear this out a little bit, and then it'll be time for that first gold pan. Basically, I just want to open this area up a little bit so I can start just sort of plowing some of this rock out of here. Lower the water level a touch. You almost think I would have packed a real shovel for this. But the advantage, what I've got going on, is that everything fits into a backpack. And going through this forest, it's two-hand kind of walking, full four-wheel drive, up and over. So much fallen timber everywhere, so we'll do what we can with what we came here with. I've got the water flowing a little bit. I just want to get that log out of there. Not as heavy and waterlogged. Oh yeah. All right. It's a good start. It's a good start. This material is still just a lot of logs and sticks mixed with everything, so it kind of just tumbles all down, and I don't think any of this has really had a chance to concentrate anything. I think the only way I'm actually going to find any gold in this creek is probably if I hit bedrock. I have no idea how deep that is here, or if that's something a guy can do without any equipment. But I'm going to just lower this down a little bit more. It'll be time for that first pan. A lot of really interesting, like, quartz looking rocks in this creek. Okay. Now there's a place to pan. It's be interesting with this shovel. I'm getting this up from the bottom of this hole because it's the deepest so far, and it'll give me a place to pan back into. Goodbye warm hands, hello gold panning. Woo! That's a heavy pan. Well, like I said, there's definitely a lot of quartz, a lot of interesting looking material here. Is there anything not a lot of black sands I'm seeing so far. Well, we do have some black sand. There's some shiny pieces in there, but they don't move like gold, so I'm assuming there's a decent bit of mica pyrite in here. But I'm a little impressed with when I look at the material that I'm going through and just how loose it is, to see that black sand mixed in. At least that's a good sign. So like I have been thinking, this spot probably not going to be the best for gold until I actually hit bedrock, and I just don't know how possible that is here. But that's what I'm here to find out, is how deep can I go with very basic hand tools. Alright, back to work. Now, I was expecting it to be hard work, but I think I underestimated just how much work a real full-size shovel can do. So it's been a bit slow going. I did do a few more pans. Still nothing resembling gold, although I did manage to find a little bit more black sand, a little bit more sparkly pyrite mica pieces in there. And it's time for a break. One of my favorite things about being out in the woods is I don't know if this is actually just a really, really good mandarin orange. Oh. What if everything just tastes better when you're hungry when out in the wilderness? But it's one of the things I look forward to, is bringing some snacks along. It's one of the things I have the most to learn about, is food and cooking out in the wilderness. But when you have the basics, a really delicious mandarin orange, that is so good, and exactly what I need to kind of kick on for another hour here. That, not the best shovel. One of the cool things that I am seeing here is rounded rocks, and the way this one is angled like this, sort of like it did kind of flow and tumble down to get to where it is. And I am finding a lot more as I go deeper, a lot more material that can be panned. So I don't think it'll be today. I may have to come back and get a real shovel. I don't know if I can hit bedrock in this spot. I don't know how deep bedrock is. Bedrock might just be kind of impossible, so might be worth coming back one more day with a big shovel, see what I can do. But if I don't get anything in test pans the next time I'm back, I might give up on the spot. If you enjoy these little adventures where I don't find oodles of gold and don't really know what I'm doing, comment below, let me know what you want to see more of. Still nothing that's obviously gold. I'll keep whatever's in there for the next pan, just in case. This shovel has been completely mangled in more ways than you can see. Where we started, I now have this little bit of a trench. So let me just walk you through it. This here is sort of where all of the tailings have been going. And if we look up this trench, that boulder is pretty significant right at the bottom, and it's wedged between two other rocks. And then I go up and we've got another big one. That's got a lot buried underground that we can't see. And then there's a bunch of little guys up here. I think a number 2 shovel, I should be able to sort of wiggle those out a little bit. And right there is sort of where everything's piled up on top of those, almost, I'd say, a meter high. So, the strategy, the way the hill works right here is it's at an angle. And right now at the bottom of my hole, which is down here, I'm assuming the bedrock is slanting downhill. And as we come uphill, bedrock will come higher. So my goal is to go from this rock and then to that rock and then to these rocks and basically remove them from the trench. So the way it'll work is, if this is the angle of the bedrock, I'm going to cut straight into it until, boom, I hit my bedrock. Right now it just goes at an angle, so I'm just going to cut straight in. There's the bottom of my little trench with a big rock, and it's neatly wedged with a big rock over here and over there. But I've got a little bit underneath the bottom of it here, which I might be able to put a sling around to pull. Going up, we've got another big rock right above it, and then a couple sort of big ones that I can probably deal with a shovel. My goal is to dig this whole trench down to the level that this water is and work my way up this hill so that by the time I get to where I've already got all this material built up, I'll be down an additional couple feet and maybe a little closer to bedrock. So how do I move a rock this size? And we're talking, it's big and it's wedged. So I'm gonna try to use this rope I brought. I'm gonna put a strap under the bottom and see if maybe I can peel it back up the hill to loosen it. And I will be tying it up to the base of that tree right there. Here's what we got. We got a pulley going around the rock. That comes to this pulley. It's a lightweight rescue pulley. And it's important that if you're using stuff like this for winching, all of the ratings on these for life support, do not use this for anything involving human life after you've been playing with it for winching. But I currently have it anchored up to that tree, giving me a 2-to-1 pull. And that 2-to-1 pull, a pulley like this is roughly 90% efficient, meaning that if I'm pulling on this band of rope with 100 pounds, that 100 pounds comes around here to this side, which would mean I have 200 pounds pulling, 2-to-1. But because the pulley's only 90% efficient, this 100 pounds on this rope becomes 90 pounds on that rope, and I'm actually getting about 190 pounds of pull. If you don't have a pulley and you just go straight around a carabiner, kind of like a trucker's hitch, carabiners are about 50% efficient. So if I did not have this pulley, I'd be coming down with 100 pounds, it'd go around the carabiner at about 50% efficient to this side, and I'd be pulling with a total of 150 pounds with my 2-to-1 pulley. Just something to keep in mind. Right now, I've just got the one pulley, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 2-to-1, I'm going to tie a prusik on this side, and using a carabiner that I have hooked up at the tree there, I'm going to bring that line back down to this prusik and pull up again. So that rock is getting pulled by this strap. Got a pulley. That's my 2-to-1 here. I've got a 3-to-1 set up here with the prusik. And unfortunately, especially with the inefficiencies in the system, considering I'm just wrapping it around its own carabiner there, I'm unable to get enough force to move that rock right now. The very last thing I tried was putting a little log across the top. That'll just sort of change the angle on the rock to try to roll it up instead of just pulling it straight, bulldozing through everything. Still wasn't able to get enough force onto it. So I'll come back tomorrow, or maybe in a couple days. I'll bring a proper shovel, see if I can clean out around it a little bit better, and then I'll try this again. Until then, thanks for watching.